Everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the March 14th Campbell County School Board meeting. Good to see everybody here. We're going to open with the Pledge of Allegiance and then a moment of silence. And I'd just like to ask everyone to, in that moment of silence, just reflect on the kids and children, schools in Ukraine right now and many parts of the world, and just think about how fortunate and blessed our kids in Campbell County are. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can you all hear me okay? All right, so our first items are presentations, and our first presentation is from the Campbell County Education Foundation.
Good evening, Mr. Members of the Campbell County School Board. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Rose Epperson, and I represent a group of volunteers called the Campbell County Education, Vicki Maddox, Susan Brandt, Clay Stanley, and Sam Vance. The foundation has tried to carefully consider ways that we can let our teachers, counselors, administrators, staff, and school board members truly understand what their work over the past few difficult years has meant to so many. We want you to know how much your efforts are appreciated. Everyone has risen to the challenge by learning new technologies and working to keep all connected. During this difficult transition back to in-school instruction, they have shown compassion and care to the students, faculty, and staff. You've emphasized the importance of having a positive attitude and cooperating with others while being role models for hard work, dedication, and taking pride in your work. We've put together a video to thank all of you, and to let you know that we are your partners in the goal of providing a world-class education that enables every student to choose and pursue any post-K through 12 endeavor. We hope you enjoy it.
See it.
Talent, and so through our experience again, there's just a lot of hurdles and barriers. So mentoring becomes a big word. Mentoring's a big word. And we've got to go back to more mentoring, with a lot of students. So there's a percentage of students, that's what I'd like to bring your attention to. I don't really call it, the haves and the have-nots in terms of just life, but some people have it easier to access support. Life is very complex. And especially if you live without the support of, maybe the family unit the way we knew it, or, some other structures that the minute they're out of your realm when they graduate from high school, it can get very complex on them. So I want to introduce you to a couple students tonight. And these are Campbell County residents now. One moved here, and the other one grew up here. And you know, we're just delighted with what's happening. They're superstars in our mind. But again, this is the whole premise, that there's a lot of talent that is not getting access to the workplace. And so they can share their story with you a little bit, and then, you know, we'll wrap up our presentation on the other side of, you know, what we're asking you guys for tonight in the partnership. All right. So the first student I'd like to introduce you is Jasmine Gilbert. And Jasmine, come on up and share with Campbell County School Board your story.
I'm Jasmine, and I graduated in 2012 from William Campbell, and here I did culinary arts. Legacy has opened my mind to a million things. Having confidence in myself. So right now, I go to school at Legacy, and in the evening, I work at Oakwood Country Club. I enjoy the balance. It keeps me busy a lot of times. And I enjoy the small rooms. We help each other out. We ask questions. Some people get scared. They don't like to be in front of people. They don't like to talk. So we encourage each other with the support of Miss Shirley and Mr. Randy. We make it work. It's very fun. It's very interesting. And I think that it will help other students from Campbell County to benefit from this program. Thank you.
So what we want to do at Legacy is remove all the hurdles and barriers. So Jasmine has a child, you know, Jasmine moved into Lynchburg from Brookfield, you know, some things that came into her life that, you know, were not simple to get through. And, you know, we've helped her get through it and said, hey, you add value. You are of value. You know, you're a creation, you're not a commodity. And, you know, started speaking value into her life. And then, you know, Jenny Allman comes alongside of her at Oakwood Country Club and is, you know, they're helping her move into her career of being a culinary chef. And just recently gave her a raise, you know, because again, we're teaching that you got to go add value in the marketplace. And that's how you get paid. So second student I'd like to introduce you to, Joey Spurberg. Joey is one of the hardest workers you'll ever meet. And you know, his journey was, we think there's a couple students that we're seeing a lot of is, first you have intergenerational poverty, you have some of the hurdles that come out of that, and then you have just repression. You know, Randy Dutton could have been a part of that. I mean, if somebody doesn't take me under the wing a little bit and mentor me and guide me past just saying, hey, there's an opportunity for you here, and they take me under the wing, then, you know, I probably wouldn't have been a Division I coach, you know. And so we've seen Joey flourish in his life right now, and he accepted the responsibility. He's going to be a dad soon. So real life is coming, and yet we're seeing real success with him. So come on up and share your story here a little bit, Joey.
I'm Joey, and I graduated in 2020. And when I first graduated high school, I didn't look towards college. I just wanted to work. That's what I wanted to do. So my dad owns a masonry business for about 30 years now. So he took me in, and I worked with him for about a year and a half. And I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't really like it. It was kind of tough, but I toughed it out. And then Dutton called me one day and, you know, was putting the bug in my ear about maybe going to college. And I was on the fence about it, but I'm really glad I made the decision, you know, to listen to him. Because where I'm at now, I mean, I never would have gone down this path and been as successful as I am now. I finished my associates this summer, and I plan on transferring to Lynchburg College to finish out my bachelor's in environmental science. And I just want to thank you for helping me through everything, and it means a lot.
So Joey hit some adversity his junior year in high school, and all of a sudden, you know, he's one of those young people that are out there that are facing some real challenges, and you know, could borderline on depression, could borderline, I think, because there's real challenges coming at him. And you know, and now you're seeing him flourish. So he didn't even tell you, he works at Hurt and Profit. So we got him a job at Hurt and Profit as part of our program, and he went over there and he works in the lab still, and he's got a couple of raises while he's been there. They moved him up, and so that's when he decided, hey, I can do this for a career. And so I'm going to go and get my environmental science degree, and Hurt and Profit's obviously committed to him staying with there, and we all know what that'll mean for him career-wise from where he could be. So these are two examples of what I want to challenge your minds with tonight is that, listen, there's a percentage of your students that Legacy can serve at a high level. And it's broader than you would think initially, because once they get done riding the yellow school bus or coming to the classes and the beautiful structure that you have for them, you know, there needs to be this continuance of mentorship that's moving on with them in their life and helping them through. I mean, and again, I saw up here, again, the futures are trying to help people with the FAFSA. I mean, the FAFSA becomes a hurdle. And Dr. Johnson knows. I mean, it's you know, some families it's easy. Some families it's a major crisis point. So when we decided we were going to do Legacy, we said, hey, we're going to do this thing where it is a national program. I mean, we're not just throwing this together as a 501c3 and just say, hey, let's do this. I mean, we think this is a model for a lot of places. Dr. Foster and I spoke at the Charlotte County Board of Supervisors at 1:30 today. So we've kept her real busy and throughout the day today. And we just think there's a lot of hurdles and barriers in our state, but we'd certainly love to see it happen here. You know, so I want you guys to understand that we've put a team together. So we have 3 PhDs and 5 master's degrees in the building that are serving the students. And some of our staff's here tonight. Dr. Mavinger's back here. So Dr. Mavinger taught math at Liberty University for 20 years. He's in the center every day. He helps all the students with their math. So if there's a math problem, and he's what we call a math facilitator. So even though he's got his PhD and he's taught classes, hey, if you know, Dr. Miller's got a problem in his college algebra class, then you're going to see him, and he's tutoring you through that whole process. And he's there every day because math is a hurdle, okay, for a lot of students to get through to their AA degree. So we appreciate what he does in serving us. Ms. Shirley sitting here in the front row, she is our Director of Student Services. So the minute Leon signs up for Legacy, she takes Leon under the wing, make sure he got his FAFSA, you know, make sure that he's got all of his classes enrolled and he's through the whole process. And by the time she's done with that student is now a college student. I mean, they're fully enrolled into the college curriculum. And what we, again, as I shared with you the first time I was here, we want to see students take 2 classes every 8 weeks, so you can finish your degree in 21 months with your AA degree. And you can go on to your bachelor's wherever you want to go. I mean, Joey's open to go wherever he wants to, but University of Lynchburg's done a great job in coming over and mentoring him and now helping him with Dr. Shahady, you know, into that program. And that's what we want to see for the students to move forward into their 4-year degree. So Ms. Shirley does that in a great way. She's our advocate for the students with any of their student services that they need. We're just talking about change maybe, you know, for Jasmine, but we provide Jasmine with transportation to work and to the center because we're going to remove all the hurdles and the barriers, you know, so this is something that we would, you know, again, love to work with you guys on. Ms. Tiffany Amentu, she is our director, and this is a very important position. She's our director of student services, academic services, and she monitors every grade and every assignment for every student. So we know Leon would get 3 behind, and Leon, then you'd be in her office, and you'd have to have a little discussion about why you're 3 assignments behind, and we put you in a little discipline cycle that moves you forward because, you know, you got to have accountability. I mean, this is not something where we're not going to hold the students accountable to their performance as we walk them through it. And then finally, we have Dr. Foster here. Dr. Foster, I call her the queen. If some of you in the education field know her, long-standing career. If I told you how old she was, she'd be really mad at me, so I can't do that. But I can tell you, you would be amazed that she's still doing what she's doing at her. And there's a full article in the newspaper tomorrow on Dr. Foster that came down. We just named the GED Center after her. So Dr. Foster, if you make your way up, I want you to share a couple points with them about how you see education. And Dr. Foster, when I got to know her, I mean, you're talking about in this day and age right now, she is the trailblazer of black education in Charlotte County. You go there and look at the museum, it's all about Dr. Foster. And she was the first integrated principal in Appomattox County. Crosses burning in her front yard. People, blowing up her mailbox and different things. And she just weathered through it because she believes that young people need an opportunity. So Randy Dutton is a very blessed man that I even get to hang out with her. Because if this was, the coaching world, the NCAA tournament right now, I mean, this is Coach K of education, okay, in our league. So, Dr. Foster, share with us your thoughts real quick.
First, I would like to say good evening, good evening to everyone. I would like to thank this board for the opportunity just to share some of Legacy's, a little bit of Legacy's program in academics. I am the academic director at Legacy. And my job is to work with the academic staff to make sure that our students are on task. That's the first thing. Secondly, Ms. Tiffany and I, we monitor the students' progress on a regular, daily basis. And thirdly, we have, as Randy said, Dr. DeVinci, he's our math facilitator. And also, we have tutors that come from Liberty University working with our students. So we are very fortunate at Legacy, and we wanted to continue the program. And as I said to the group when I spoke to the Board of Supervisors today, when I was just a freshman at Virginia Seminary, and remembering what Dr. Allen, the president, said to the student body, and that has stuck with me all the way through my life. He said to us, you are students, you are the educators. Go back into your community and help your people. And that has been my goal. I've been trying to help people in Charlotte County ever since. So thank you, and I enjoy what Randy said about me.
So we could talk a lot about the program, but let's sum up why we're here. Obviously, first, to share more with you in detail about what's happening. This is a serious academic program, but it's a workforce play. This is a workforce play. I mean, the kids have to work. He had to go get a job. She had to get a job, right? It wasn't appeasement. We weren't sitting there going like, hey, you're allowed to come to the program without working. You got to get a job. That's what happened in the Dunton household, okay? I mean, it probably happened in most of your households, and it's not happening everywhere right now. There's a lot of appeasement because of economy, that we are in a different setup with just the whole education system right now in terms of where we're headed. So if you look on the front of the sheet that I gave you, this fundraising campaign that we're going to do, which is not why we're here tonight, but we launched Legacy Now, dedicating this idea to build on the best of Central Virginia on behalf of the underserved. So there's some great qualities in our community. Each individual needs what Central Virginia has: community, education, mentorship, and empowerment. Join us as we come together in this moment of exceptional possibility. So we're at a stage right now with unbelievable possibilities to do what this program's going to do. And so our goal is to get somewhere between 100 and 200 students by June. We're working right now on a new location where we can expand our facilities so we can house more students. We're about to launch a campaign, this campaign right here financially, where, and Dr. Johnson, what we're looking at is, hey, we want to raise $1 million, and I've already got $300,000 of it raised, okay, so we start with that. We're going to raise $1 million, which will take care of our budget for 2 years in partnership with Brookfield, Liberty, and Central Virginia. Then I want to come back to everybody with the data. Okay, we had 300 students, here's where they are, here's what's happened, and here's the success that we've had, and so let's continue to move forward with the program. And, so it's a 2-year window where we can really focus ourselves on recruiting and doing what we need to do. What we're asking you guys for right now is, we want to have a pathway to have a partnership with Campbell County. And, we want to work under the authority of Dr. Johnson, and Dr. Johnson then can, allow us to, contact the counselors or the principals, however he deems it best, and then we go in there. Like at Amherst, we got a partnership. We're working through CTE with Craig Maddox. Lynchburg City School asked us to go through the counselors, so we got a partnership with Lynchburg, Amherst, and Charlotte County, already going into the schools, and And when we sit down with the students, Barry, and we say, hey, what's your passion? What do you want help with? Where do you want to go? I mean, they just get fired up, and somebody's here to mentor them through the process. And so we will be, corresponding with Dr. Johnson and hoping that we can develop this partnership, and you'll be seeing more about, our campaign when we go out there. The business community is fired up. I mean, we're part of the Business Alliance, with Lynchburg Region. We're looking at businesses, and if anybody's got a business here that they're interested in, we're looking to partner with all the businesses we can to put workers into those businesses. And in some cases, kids have never worked, so we actually start them off in what we call pre-apprentice, where they got a 1-month temporary job with somebody, and we pay for them to work there. And that way it doesn't put the company at risk. So we're seeing a lot of success with that. Anybody have any questions tonight before we close this up?
How many students do you have right now?
We had 36 in our pilot program, and I can send you a list of where they're all working. So, COVID's hurt us too in terms of just the timing of recruiting. I mean, we should have been more active last summer, but everything was shut down, so you couldn't get anywhere. I think, Dr. Johnson and I first met over a year ago, and everybody would, things were progressing, but they couldn't progress because of where we were with COVID. So we're hoping that between now and June to get as many students as we can in the program, and again, we can sign up students every 8 weeks. So if you find anybody out there that's in need of this service, every 8 weeks we can sign them up because there's a new class starting, and they can start there 21 months at that point in time. All right, any other questions? Thank you very much for allowing us to be here. We're privileged to have the people we are that are serving, and we look forward to serving more Campbell County students in the future.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so next item is the board will hear matters from the floor. It looks like we have 6 speakers that signed up. And I would like to remind all the speakers of the 3-minute time limit, and please be respectful of that. Ms. Jackie Mendez is our first speaker.
You trying to hit her off?
All right. Good evening, board members and Campbell County community members. My name is Jackie Mendez. I live here in Evington, and I am the founder of Moms for Liberty here in Campbell County. So the academic performance of American kids is terrible and has been for a long time. The education industry has settled on finding ways to look good rather than be good. The play and Enron type of game to juke the stacks and mass problems. Rosiac, Luke, Race to the Bottom, which just came out. We plan to get a copy to every parent. This is a very important book, just came out. So today I want to focus on board members and the responsibility each member has for the children of the county. In my recent discoveries, I've learned a few items I want to bring to the attention of the audience. First, we have 6 board members here who have a total years of whose years of service total 87. That's almost a century. That's wow. That's a long time in service, and we have little to show for it. Gentlemen, you own this mess of CRT, transgenderism, academic irregularities, poor morale, decline of standards, and worst off, ignoring your constituents. Business as usual is now over. Mr. Brandt, from the Sunburst District, is currently in his 25th year as the representative of the district. Can you share why you're still here? Mr. Maddox from Alta Vista is currently serving in his 20th year. Why are you still seeking re-election next cycle? Mr. Apperson, the Spring Hill District, is serving his 15+ years on the board. Why are you still here? Mr. Jones from the Concord District is serving 20-plus years on the board. Why are you still here? And Mr. Phillips from Spurberg, on his 5th year of his 2-year term, his winning is questionable since the sample ballots distributed by his campaign were tainted by identifying voters as Republicans or Democrats. It's shameful. Mr. Miller, 12 years serving, recently elected. Why did you run again? I saw on your Facebook page, your platform was teachers' pay and facilities. We need transparency, accountability, and academic standards. Teachers are well taken care of, districts are funded with enough money. Overall, we have seen that board needs to have term limits, like the governor of Virginia has only 1 term, as part of their operation. Gentlemen, whose interests are you representing? The Virginia State Board Association, the Teachers Union, who? So as a newly created chapter of Moms for Liberty, we're here, we have 3 of them now, Bedford, Campbell, and Roanoke. We intend to work with the district in making our concerns heard. We have solutions. These are parental rights that we're going. Moms for Liberty will be holding events around the county to gather parents, inform them of options available, create a community of informed citizens and citizens who will never, ever go back to sleep. We are looking forward to changes in the next election cycle, 23, so a brand new set of faces on the dais. Thank you.
Crystal Coleman, please, next. Tracy.
Good evening. I'm Crystal Coleman from Alta Vista, Virginia. While I am pleased with the draft resolution presented tonight, I am disheartened in knowing that the fight for this began in August of 2021, and not until an executive order did we see the local courage to craft this. It's not enough, though. It should not just be a resolution, but be enacted as a school policy and in no way be misunderstood by any employee, thus having complete legal standing in any due process occurrence. Your public support of this must be loud and clear, given the Virginia Association of Superintendents letter just sent to the Superintendent of Public Instruction, complaining about the overhaul of materials and resources that promoted said divisive language and philosophy. VAS got caught with their pants around their ankles, and they attacked back in that letter, stating they represented all 133 Virginia superintendents. This, together with the School Board Association coming after parents as domestic terrorists, clearly explains the climate we the people find ourselves in. What makes me the angriest, though, is that I presented all of this, including the information being rescinded and deleted from the Department of Ed, in printed proof to the board in August. One of you even tried to shove it back at me saying, we said we weren't doing this. And I'm here to say, show me the money. Clearly state to your employees how the mandated cultural competency training will be conducted. Clearly state to your teachers how you will handle their new evaluation tool with said competency. Clearly tell your teachers that they will not be incorporating the social emotional learning curriculum. Clearly explain how the candidates at the job fair were vetted for this resolution. Clearly tell us how you will ensure that gender identity and other divisive surveys and activities will not appear in our classrooms. Create in each school a committee of parents, local clergy, and teachers to review the books in our school libraries so that the books that were just found in Bedford school libraries are not there. The same courage that was displayed in keeping our schools open during the pandemic, despite much criticism that I know you went through, is the same courage that is needed now. Waiting for the new state administration to solve all of this is not what we elected you for. We, the people, are not going away. Our children deserve no less. God bless them, and God bless America.
Phyllis Floyd.
Good evening. It's nice to be here. You allow us to speak to you. The two ladies that came before me, we worked together. They said, I won't even repeat anything they've said because they told you everything. But what I would like to say is we want to work with you. And we want to know things, and so we have to have a process where we can find out and we're not interested in destroying anybody. We're interested in improving Campbell County schools. And that's something we want you to know. We want to improve. We want to improve ourselves. And it's a working process. And I will tell you that I knew about Legacy from the very beginning, and I've seen it. They don't even know me, but I knew everyone before them, after them, and everything. They do a good job. And I would like to see, we're going to need, as things are changed in this county, and we deal with issues like especially the restrooms and the transgender in and out of the restrooms. That's my biggie, because I've had experience with it of some children that have been very hurt. And so that is something that I think is one of our most important issues. We need supervisors. We need people to walk and be around the restrooms. I don't know if you do or not, because no one seems to, the people I ask don't know. So I guess I just want to get to know you, be able to ask questions, and be able to be a help. You know, Campbell County, New London, Lynchburg, our area opened up from the east to the west and the north and the south. And I think I mentioned that the last time I was here. Patrick Henry's second most famous speech was in New London. I live in New London, the Campbell County part. And I can tell you, we, as our school board, as our county, we set history in place, a lot of it. Do our students know this history? And they need to be proud of it because they need to know how to do it again. And the parents need to. We want the parents to be able to come to the school to meet you, but we need some training and some help there too. When you start new programs, you know you have to have some work sessions. So I just ask, please work with us. We want to help. We really aren't out to destroy anything. Thank you.
Mr. Albert Randolph. I forgot to mention, please list your name and your address, please.
First, good evening to the school board and superintendent. If you don't mind, I'm going to take a few seconds of mine to get personal.
Name and address, please.
Name is Albert Randolph. Address is 707 Bear Creek Road, Rustburg, Virginia. Mr. Maddox, did you go to Ala Vista High School along 78?
Graduated in 80.
80. I know you. You probably don't know who I am. I was the health and phys ed teacher when you came through that Ala Vista High School. You loved that baseball. Am I right?
No, I played football and ran track.
I thought I may have it wrong, but I remember you as a student there at Ala Vista. Again, my name is Albert Randolph, and I reside in Campbell County, especially Rustburg District, for the past 38 years. My two children came through school in Rustburg and received a good education. I commend you, boy. Y'all done a great job. And my children received a good education, went on off to be very successful, so I thank you for that. I spent my career in public education. I taught in Campbell County, and a couple of people I was in school when I was there. Charles Haley was there. Dagan McDowell. She went on to work on CNN, not CNN, but Fox News, I believe. And I was fortunate to be able to see those two students come through. I am pleased what you all as superintendents have agreed, that we try to revert back whereby schools are able to address the issues as opposed to doing too many hotlines. Hotlines sometimes may not be positive and send a good message. I am here tonight as a citizen to oppose any divisive policies about the school board or board of supervisors. As I shared with you, with my school board rep, Mr. Phillips, I shared with him, Mr. Phillips, it is my belief there should be a group representing all constituents so that any divisive things can be worked out prior to it becoming with drastic changes. CRT has never been implemented in the state. I'm not sure how such divisive tactics have come forward, but we do not want anything that critical race theory going forward. Our community have been very divided, and sometimes it appears as if we are just being divisive in such practices. We can't change history. History is what it is. And we want to make sure we cover all history. It is extremely important that you all represent everyone as you come forth to make decisions. And I know sometimes decisions are very tough and hard to make. To my knowledge, the standards of learning have never been divisive or toward CRT. I support parents' involvement in, is that my time limit?
Just if you could wrap it up for
Okay.
10 more seconds.
At my time, with that being said, it would be my desire that the board have a group that being able to address some of these issues so that we can, all constituents are represented as we can move forward. And I do thank you for your time.
Mr. Reggie Herndon.
First of all, my thanks to the board, Dr. Johnson, for allowing me a few minutes to express some concerns. I promise to be brief. I have about 5 points I'd like to talk about very briefly. Point number 1, it was brought to my attention that the board, you have a resolution that you guys are considering adopting. The Executive Committee of the Campbell County branch of the NAACP is greatly concerned about the school board passing a resolution against inherently divisive concepts in schools, including CRT. I don't speak, Campbell County is roughly 14% minority citizens, which is roughly comes to about 8,000 citizens. I don't claim to speak for all 8,000 African-American citizens in this county, but I do speak for myself as a concerned citizen in regards to our school system and our children. The question I have is, with this resolution that you are considering adopting, what do you hope to accomplish? What's the purpose of this resolution? And what is it going to do to improve our schools, our children, as well as support our teachers? What do I say if someone asks me if you move forward with this resolution? What do I say? What is the purpose? What does it do? I guess I'm gonna use an adage that I had a boss that told me in Texas once, says, make me smart. So I'd like to know what, again, is the purpose of this resolution, and what is it going to do to improve our school system, and why now? Why do we need it now? It is the consensus of our executive committee that the school board passing a resolution against inherently divisive concepts in schools, including critical race theory, is not in the best interest of our children of color. So we are asking the school board to strongly consider not moving forward with this resolution. We do not think any resolution, first of all, is necessary. Concerns about curriculum should be referred to Dr. Johnson, the Virginia Department of Education, or to a member of the state legislature. I like to say that I think we have a very, very good school administration with Dr. Johnson and his staff. So, again, I reiterate, what are we trying to accomplish with this resolution? Because what do I tell our citizens, whomever, if you adopt this, when they ask the question, what is this resolution? What is it for? What is it going to do? How is it going to make us better? I don't know if I have the correct number or not. Forgive me if I don't. I think the last time I checked that Campbell County was number 45 out of 135 school districts in the state. So the question is, how is that going to improve us, lower that 45 ranking? Again, I thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Mr. Doug Behringer.
My name is Doug Behringer. I live in Campbell County, Spurberg District. So I guess I should start with Mr. Chairman, Dr. Johnson, and members of the school board. I think all of the speakers have made some good points thus far. I do like the point that we really don't want to tear anything down, and we want to help build up and work with you. I've been encouraged in recent months that that feeling is mutually reciprocated. So I hope we can continue to build on that. I think that, and I encourage support for the legacy program. I would strongly urge that we actually expand this resolution to cover any curriculum that teaches contrary to the founding principles of our nation and the standards of our community. I think we should consider, basically oppose any education that teaches any form of prejudicial or discriminatory doctrine. We should also please specify that such materials that are divisive will not be included in classroom instruction. We'll make a strong statement regarding professional training required for our teacher certification and accreditation. Also, please expand this statement to include other forms of inherently divisive and controversial topics. I do commend your use in the last point of the resolution to use the biologically and scientifically correct and concrete word sex rather than less specific, sociologically and politically correct words like sexual orientation and gender identification, which are political more than scientific. So I would encourage you to expand that. I also wanted to just touch on this, this letter from the Association of School Superintendents. I really don't think this reflects Dr. Johnson, who maybe 2 years ago I might have felt it did, my comments, but I've come to see him in a different light now, and many of the administration. But I question the use of the word, and I think this letter reflects an overall tone of superiority and elitism, that only the people in Richmond are the experts. Only people who are supposed to be our administrators and facilitators are the only ones who know anything about what we should be teaching. If Loudoun County showed us anything, it is that parents must be involved, and in fact, I would expand that to say the whole community. The school family should include the entire community, because we all elect the board, we pay for the taxes, and we have a stake in what the future community looks like as a result of their time with the Campbell County educational system. So I'll cut it short there, and thank you all very much for your time.
Was that all that signed up? That's all I have. All right. Thank you all. That concludes the matters for the board. We'll start our business meeting, and we'll start with approval of the February 26th meeting minutes.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion or questions about the minutes? All in favor of passing, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We also have the approval of the joint board work session minutes on January 18th.
Mr. Chairman, before you go ahead, I'm not sure that actually takes approval. I think that's more reporting. The committee minutes. So I don't know that it's, generally, we have just always reported those. I didn't catch that it was up for approval. I would ask that you either table that until I get an answer and we can move that forward to the next meeting.
All right, well, let's just table it then, because it was a meeting. Okay.
We don't bring, sorry. Forgive me. The minutes from the other committee meetings are not generally, we just report them. So let me do a little research on that, and we can bring it back. There's nothing pressing in that needs to be.
Okay. All right, then we will move on to payment of the bills. I always did this one. Somebody else has to take over on this one.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the bills? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Ms. McClanahan, we've got $28,000 worth of donations, besides the $20,000 we got from the foundation. Present that, please.
Yes, sir. Tonight you have 22 donations for your approval. Unless you have any questions, I ask that you approve them as presented.
Move for approval. Second.
Any questions or discussion? I would just like to say we appreciate all donations from everybody. It looks like Pacific Life is a really good neighbor, and I appreciate that. All in favor of approving these, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Non-resident tuition.
Tonight you have 7 applicants being considered for approval as non-resident tuition students. Unless you have any questions, I ask that you approve them.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration of request for supplemental transfer of appropriations.
Tonight you have a list of appropriations on board docs. Unless you have any questions, I ask that you approve them as presented.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second by Mr. Jones. Any questions for Ms. McClanahan? Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Michelle. Ms. Henley, personnel report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board, you have the personnel report in front of you. Unless you have any questions, I'd ask that you approve it as written.
Move for approval. Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, information items. Dr. Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In February, you directed the administration and staff to draft a resolution condemning inherently divisive concepts. We had hoped to have that completed so it could have gone out on the first agenda, the preliminary agenda, but we were unable to do that there. And so since it was late going, we put that just as an informational item. I talked to all of you about it, and we will bring that forward if it's your pleasure at the April meeting for action.
questions for Dr. Johnson?
Yes, Dr. Johnson, is that published somewhere for the public?
It's on the board docs agenda right now.
Okay, it's
Yes,
attached on the agenda for public review.
Yes.
Thank you. And then, report.
I just want one quick comment. You heard Mr. Dutton talk about the FAFSA form. I just got information today. So you know we have a new future center it's a pilot with the Beacon of Hope guiding, and we funded some of that. But at Alta Vista Combined School, over 50% of their students completed the FAFSA form. That was greater than any high school in this region. So it's making a difference there.
Okay.
And is that because they had specific help accomplishing it?
Yes.
Is that complicated?
Yes, it's
Yes.
the Future Center, that's their purpose, to help with not just that, but job seeking, applications, financial aid, FAFSA, college applications, you name it. It's so if you have an opportunity to go down to Alta Vista Combined and see that, it's pretty impressive what they're doing.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Matters from the board. I think we'll start down here with Mr. Jones.
Excuse me. I'd like to thank all the speakers that spoke tonight. Certainly, initially express our appreciation to the Campbell County Education Foundation for their continued work and diligence to generate revenue that benefits so many of our students. And also the donations, just the general donations, to Campbell County schools. I think this is the highest figure I've seen since I've been associated with the board. We certainly appreciate it. Certainly, the Legacy Education Center is certainly interested, and think we owe it to ourselves to find out about it and see what we can do to assist it. Attended a Campbell County Recreation Committee meeting Thursday, which is the first one they've had in about 6 months, so it was good to get that group back together. Attended a governor's school meeting on March the 8th. Really, truly impressive organization there. Also participated virtually in the VSBA Southern Region meeting that we normally would attend, but this time it was virtual again. Had a very good speaker. Mr. J.T. Kessler talked about the General Assembly and a lot of the bills and the work on the budget. And if you all remember from the Williamsburg Convention, that KJET company, the broadband company, they were going to award some money to school systems to improve their connectivity. Well, we didn't win. Lunenburg won out of the southern region, but and then again, the art contest winners are, I don't know. Did all of you all get the pictures? I'll try to forward them to all of you. The artwork is just spectacular. I mean, I don't know how people get so talented. But then again, and I guess finally driving by Rustburg and seeing the new Rustburg Middle School, if you're not impressed, there's something wrong with you. It's very, very impressive. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I'd like to thank our speakers tonight for coming out and sharing their concerns. Also, thanks again to the Campbell County Education Foundation for the outstanding work and the donation. That was a great accomplishment and donation, so appreciate all that hard work. And thanks to Mr. Dutton and his staff and the students for coming out tonight. That was a great presentation he had, and we look forward to being able to take part and help in that effort. Also, a little bit of information from the schools in the Rustburg district. We had a fine arts night this last week. Had the band, chorus, theater, and art programs out for attendance that evening. So that was a great evening at Rustburg High School. They also put on a performance, the musical comedy Murders of 1940. So it was a good theatrical performance by Rustburg High School. And lastly, we had Destiny Harris, student won honorable mention in the International Art Contest hosted by the Virginia Department of Aviation. So congratulations to Destiny on her success there. And over at Yellow Branch Elementary School, they had a February math challenge, and the winning class got to present the donations that they had collected through the school-wide kindness challenge to the animal shelter, which is behind the elementary school there. So it was a good effort by the school and to collect those funds and donate those to a good cause. And as Barry mentioned, exciting to see the continued progress for on Rustburg Middle School and on Main Street there in Rustburg. So hopefully the mud will continue to dry up a little bit for us and make more progress there. But great efforts there as well. So appreciate the overtime all of the construction crews are putting in to continue to move that project forward. That's all I had.
Yes, good evening, everyone, and thank you to the speakers, of course, and for everyone else being here. You know, I work pretty hard to get the community involved, and I hope they continue to be involved and for that to grow. I'm really excited to announce that both chambers and the General Assembly approved the expansion of colleges and universities to open lab schools with public schools from the colleges down to us. And I'm also proud to be on the working group at the state level, so I'm super excited to keep all the things that we've heard about tonight and that we already have in place. We've got the foundation, so I keep saying let's inject some steroids in it and make sure that our region's included in that. I'm super excited about that. I thank Concord Elementary for giving all of the school board members a nice little gift of snacks tonight. That was very, very nice of them. Appreciate that. Legacy, Randy Dunton works in my office, and he's extremely passionate and works extremely hard, and I see the children every Friday come in and pick up their checks. So I can tell you from firsthand experience, he is helping the kids that need someone to encourage them personally, emotionally. You know, when he says a wraparound, it truly is a wraparound. They do not, I'm not going to say they don't let the kids slide, but they do everything in their realm of possibility to keep them on task and keep them, you know, moving forward. So super proud of that, hoping to move forward with that as well. Brookfield High School, I attended the Honor Society inductions, and I have to brag, my oldest son was asked to do the introductions. There was also ring ceremonies there this week. At Brookfield Middle School, I was just made aware that we have a student who has been in the VCU burn unit since December. And apparently the graphic design class created a t-shirt to sell to help raise money for the family. And they also had all the students wear those t-shirts to school on March 8th as it was the student's birthday. I plan to get more information on how the rest of the community could maybe help support this child and this family. And I'll bring this back to the next meeting and also post it on my Facebook page. Happy to email it to anybody who'd like me to once I get more information. I want to thank everyone at CCPS. As me being a new member, pretty much everyone that's in this room that's employed by CCPS has heard from me pretty often, and I appreciate everyone's help and cooperation and assistance. We have added the link to the VDOE SOL curriculum link on the curriculum tab on our website, and there are some other changes, and we're building robustness in the website, which is new, so please be patient, but we're working on that. I'm super excited to see the changes there. I think that's pretty much it. I appreciate everybody, and if there's anything I can do to help, please reach out.
Mr. Brand.
I'll try not to repeat some of the things that Ann just said, because I got a list here from Brookfield High School too, so. Let me first start off by saying that I want to thank all the speakers tonight. Special thanks to Campbell County Education Foundation and the large donation, and they continue with these donations. And the group of people, they just do a fantastic job, and I have to say that because my wife's part of it, so. Very nice job they've been doing for us. Thanks to Mr. Dunton and his staff. Thanks to Concord Elementary School for the gift. And on Brookfield High School, maybe something Ann didn't mention, was March the 30th from 3:30 to 6 p.m. They'll have open house to welcome parents and community back into the building. They want the parents to meet their student teachers, visit the school council office, and visit the administration team. There'll be free t-shirts, food truck, merchandise available through the boosters, and a photo for area pictures. SCA and mentor student group will be available to show parents around. Rising ninth graders for the 22-23 school year are also invited to attend to meet with elective teachers, visit club tables, and to know the building. I think you got this next one, man. So, spring sports officially kicks off tonight with boys and girls soccer at Amherst. Congratulations to our middle school, Brookfield Middle School, and Brookfield High School bands who scored a rating of superior at the District 6 BBODA concert assessment. And finally, alumnus from Brookfield High School, Carrington Osborne, whose mom teaches at Leeds Road Elementary School, will be competing on TV in the American Ninja Warrior competition in San Antonio, Texas. It's already taken place. She could not tell what she's done. Her mother and she sat with my wife and I at church yesterday, but she couldn't reveal how things had gone. But stay tuned. That's all I have.
I'd like to thank everybody for the donations. Like Leon, my wife's on the Educational Foundation, so definitely thank them. And also to the speaker that asked why I was currently on the school board. I was asked by a principal 20-some years ago to run. I ran. I was opposed then. I got 75% of the vote. Nobody has ever run against me since. It might be good, it might be bad.
That's gonna change.
I look forward to it.
Gonna change.
But the main reason I've run, my 3 daughters went through Campbell County Public Schools, and right now I have grandchildren here. So,
That's fine. Thank you for the explanation, but
you're more than welcome.
long overdue. 20 is a lot.
Good luck with that. Thank you.
I too would like to thank all the speakers for coming out tonight, and I mean all the speakers, and we value your input. I'd also like to thank all the donors, and too, my wife is part of the Education Foundation, and I'm very proud of what this whole group has accomplished. $75,000 to date is pretty remarkable, and they're just really getting started. So look forward to what they can and will be doing for Campbell County and all the kids. I'd like to thank also just all the contributions we got. When I looked at that number at over 25,000, I think, wow. I mean, I know a lot of Pacific Life, but I'll tell you what, that's just awesome to see that kind of support from the community. I'd like to thank the schools for the gifts tonight. It was very nice to think of us. I'd like to thank Randy Dunton and the entire Legacy staff for what they're doing for kids in Central Virginia and what they can possibly do for Campbell County kids going forward. So we're looking forward to hearing more about that. Just going to say a couple things about the high school, middle school, and it is awesome there. You're exactly right. Middle school down there is really coming along, and it really looks nice. So. But thanks again, everybody, and that's all I've got.
Thank you. I just have a few things, and obviously want to thank the donations from both the foundation and other general donations, and I'm glad that our citizens and companies in the area value what we do in Campbell County and want to be supportive, so I really appreciate that. I'm looking forward to hearing more about how we can hopefully partner with Legacy, and seems like a great program, and I'm sure our counselors can easily identify students that will benefit from that. So I'm hopeful that this can come to fruition and help our kids, because I employ a lot of young people in my business, and it takes a while to build a good employee, and they need guidance, and some employees can't do that. They need somebody to be up and running right away. So I'm looking forward to that. I wanted to mention two students from William Campbell Combined School who achieved the ability to participate in the state track meet. Jerry Stone, a senior, participated, and the fun thing about him, this was the first year he ran track. And then Michaela Jones, who was in the state, they didn't win, but she was in the state tournament. She's only a sophomore and was already in the state tournament. So I'd just like to follow up a little bit, Ms. Mendez. This is only my 9th year as a school board member. It's not my 12th. And I don't have Facebook, so I'm not quite sure where you're getting some of your information. I was looking for an opportunity to serve my community when, at that time, Hugh Pendleton was my my supervisor, board of supervisors. And he asked me to run, and I ran. There was somebody else running. I won by 11 votes in the Brookfield district, and since then I've felt like I've tried to contribute to my community and serve, and since then I've run unopposed. So I just wanted an opportunity to serve my community.
All I'm
So
saying, it can't be in perpetuity.
I
And
don't
that's what this
I don't
shows,
plan on it to be.
in perpetuity.
So. But other people have to. It's a democracy, and so.
We do. I
So-
come from a democracy.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So I think that's all I have. That's all I have. We do have to go into a closed meeting, and so.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we convene in a closed meeting for discussion or consideration of disciplinary matters or other matters that would involve this disclosure of information contained in a scholastic record concerning a student in the school division, specifically student 34 from 2021 school year, in accordance with section 2.2-3711A2 of the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We'll take a 5-minute recess, and then we will start our closed meeting. I just want to make sure I don't want to put it. for a motion certifying that to the best of each member's knowledge that during our closed meeting, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by the school board.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries. All right, so now I have, I need a motion to accept, reject, or amend the administration's recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the administration's recommendations on student number 34.
There's a motion by Mr. Jones.
Second.
Second by Mr. Maddox. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay,
Anything else?
and now we're finished. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I forgot, Mark Hudson, stand up, please, there. Mark Hudson has been with us for quite a few years as a teacher and an ITRT